Hey, what's up? I'm Corey, and this is Get Sharp. So you think the burr's gone, but this is Japanese blue steel. The burr of Japanese blue steel is kind of like getting one of those little micro splinters. You can feel it, but when you look, you can't see it. One of those edges where it just drags every time it slices. I think most guys don't even realize it, but they're quitting the honing process too soon. Today, you're gonna watch me decrease my edge angle, and then you're gonna watch me increase my edge angle. So you gotta ask yourself, are you truly confident with your method to fully remove the burr on tough steel like Japanese blue steel number 2? All right, before we do anything, let's see what we're up against. Before we got our hands on this edge on up sharpness tester, we really were in the dark. This thing has just really changed everything for the shop here, how I, approach things, my processes. It's added a ton of value. I'm glad we got it. And don't forget, my community is the one that voted for this. We had about $300-400 in the Get Sharp bank account, which you can see on the website. And I put up a vote for what we should invest in next, and you guys voted for this. And I'm glad you did, because I'm loving it. So this machine measures force in grams, and there is a scale. I'll put it on the screen for you. Anything above 400 is pretty much a butter knife. So let's get an idea of where this one sits right here, right now, before we do anything to it. $362. So pretty sure that's kind of in the, like, it's workable, it'll cut, but it's also in need of maintenance. So good thing it's here. This is an absolutely beautiful Nakiri. Whoever got their hands on this before me put an 18-degree edge on it. My game plan today, we're gonna go for a finished edge of 15 degrees. All right, so like I was saying, whoever got their hands on this before me, they put an 18-degree angle on this blade. And I know that because I have this device here that'll read existing edge angles. I cannot use it on camera. Lasers burn photosensors on cameras. Japanese blue number 2 hardness is 63 to 65, which is think in the world of super steels, think about S35VN. So it's got that kind of toughness to it, but in a high carbon steel version. Game plan, I'm gonna put a 15-degree edge on this, 15-degree double bevel. So, and we're gonna be using CBN to get started. This particular wheel is 800 grit by just setting it up on here. Make sure it's flat and even from one end to another. This is an easy knife because it's flat, but sometimes on those knives with a curve, you just want to get that curve to line up in the middle. Okay, make sure I tighten that up. Boom, boom. And now we're gonna set our universal support bar height to accommodate 15 degrees. Okay, we're ready to build the burr. Quick story about this knife. The owner was telling me it had a lot more life below it, but had some friends over and someone decided to chop up frozen chicken nuggets with this knife. So they had to take, I think it was 6 millimeters of steel off. So it may have been like a Chinese style cleaver in the beginning of its life. Now it resembles more or less Nakiri. This is my favorite kind of blade to sharpen because it's the easiest. It's flat, no curve to it, no tilting, and no bolster getting in my way. Just straight up fun. CBN makes super quick work of the grinding process. I don't have the right equipment to show you the burr on this particular type of steel. It's microscopic. I gotta get the light just right to even see it myself. All right, so this is similar, this is tough steel. So in this case, we're gonna be moving on to the thinning of the burr. And I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Gonna swap out this wheel for a 1200 grit CBN wheel. I'm gonna flip it around. I'm gonna start attacking this apex using the edge trailing method. Oh, I love it when this calculator is just so dialed. That's amazing. Rub that Sharpie off. Friggin' perfect. It could not be better. All right, let's go ahead and start thinning the burr. No weight, just the weight of gravity in the knife. And edge trailing, simply because it adds less force, which means less friction to the apex. So y'all know what a burr looks like. We're not trying to rip it off, we're just trying to thin it out, make it a little thinner, a little smaller. There's even little gaps in it. Maybe pieces of it fell off during the thinning process. Okay, so the thinning process continues. We have one more step of the thinning process. We're just moving up in progression. So we did our initial grind at 800 grit on the CBN wheel, which is a pretty high grit. And I think that's why on the 1200, we're already starting to see signs of the burr actually just falling off. That was 1200, or on 1200 we saw it fall away. Now we're gonna move up from 1200 to 5000. In this case, I'm gonna be leveraging diamonds. So this wheel here is embedded with 3 micron diamond. Okay, it's not gonna take much. We're gonna do like 10 passes. I can actually see the burr. This wheel's kind of, the leather's dark, so I can actually see the burr, and in some cases I can see it fly off. All right, we're gonna decontaminate the blade, get all that diamond, make sure there's none on it. So I don't need it crossing over to the next diamond wheel. Camera had to cool down. While it was cooling down, I went ahead and set up my rock hard felt wheel. This has been impregnated with 1 micron diamond, which is equivalent to 15,000 grit. We've decontaminated the blade. That way diamonds from the 3 micron are not coming over here. Same thing, but on this wheel. This wheel is special. What me and some buddies are looking into right now, like, why is this special? It's a little bit softer, and the apex, the fibers, the wool, this is wool. The wool kind of curls around the apex slightly, and that allows it to rip off the what's remaining of the thin burr. In fact, I just saw a piece fly off right there. We're honing at 14.7. So I've reduced my angle a little bit as well. And this is really gonna allow that apex to bite into the fibers here. And you can see this wool is nice and dark. It's probably my 10th time using it as I perfect this process on super steel and high carbon steel such as Japanese blue. And if you happen to have a more efficient process than what you see me doing here right now, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for ways to improve. There's a lot of guys on the internet with a ton more experience than I have. So much so, I started a Discord, and we've got some guys over there. Actually, we have a lot of fun in there. One of our guys is he's kind of like the Home Depot of sharpening. He knows where to get everything at the cheapest price. So thank you to Ray. And there's a couple guys like me that are precision sharpeners, and we're just on that quest to find the most effective process to the sharpest knives. And then we've got business advisors like Gary, 82 years old. He worked with SCORE, if you've heard of SCORE, helping businesses improve. We've got Rich Collins. He's the curator or the caretaker of the Sharpening Handbook. Super sharp guy. If you haven't heard of the Sharpening Handbook, I'll ask Rich if I can link it below. I reference it all the time. Something walks in I'm not used to, I go on there to get my edge angles. If you follow this protocol, I have no doubt you're gonna be sharpening your knives into razors. Doesn't matter how hard the steel is, how tough it is. Nope, don't matter. You will have razors. I know this because I've done this many times. This is one of the reasons I'm able to charge a bit of a premium on higher end knives. People come to me, they trust my process. If you own a super steel or an expensive knife and you'd like me to sharpen it, I do sharpen via mail order. Go visit my website. You can get instructions on how to get your knives in here. This thing's like a giant straight razor, huh? All right, can it cut? That's the question. I already know that's sharp. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the edge on up sharpness test. Where were we at the beginning? 366. So sub 100, I'm happy. Let's take a look. All right, left-handed. .91. Do that one more time for good measure. Just make sure that wasn't a fluke. My PR is 76. Every time I do this, I'm so hopeful for something under 70, but it's not easy, guys. I think I need to get one more wheel so I can do some sub 1 micron diamond. Okay, so the last one was right here. This one I'm gonna move the tip out just a tad, so I'm not doing the same spot. Here we go, sub 100. This thing is a razor. All right, guys, so we started at an edge on up score of 366, which is kind of like, yeah, it's working sharp, but it's also kind of, in my opinion, that's butter knife dull right there. And we ended at 83, which is a friggin' razor. I'm happy. My client, their family, that beautiful family, they're gonna be cooking with a razor blade. I'm so excited for that. If you're not getting results like this, or if you're, you know, not 100% sure, you might not be fully removing the burr by the root. If you want to get better at sharpening, head on over to the Discord. We've got some sharp minds over there, and we're looking at the math, we're looking at the science. We all have one common goal. We all want to be sharpness masters, okay? So quit guessing, get sharp, and don't forget to subscribe. Later.